Hi, I'm Andrew Wasson from Creative Guitar Studio. Thanks for joining me here on the Guitar Blog. It is Saturday, November 6th, 2010. I'm going to hit some questions right away that have come in through the last week. The first one is from Sam. He wrote in saying, I wanted to know about the CAGED scale style improvisation system. What is the process for improvising over chords with that particular technique? There's two videos. First of all, that I should mention that you should check out. One is called the CAGED system. I did it a while ago. It's on my Creative Guitar Studio YouTube channel, as well as on the same YouTube channel, a video called How to Practice Scales. This should bring you up to speed on exactly what that entire system is all about. But it's, you know, when you come into the use of it, it's for going and setting up locations on the fingerboard for all your scales, pentatonics, and arpeggios. And let me show you what I mean. Let's say I just took a note of C down here off 5th string, 3rd fret. And if I did its octave and then took the octave off of the 2nd string, 1st fret here and transferred it into a unison of the same note, placed it over here at the 3rd string, 5th fret, I would get a new shape. So as you can see, I've got two shapes here now. And then I can take this C off of 5th string, transfer it to its unison here at the 8th fret of 6th string, and I got a new shape. And you just keep basically going, transferring octaves into unisons along the neck, and you get basically 5 shapes. Those 5 shapes originally relate, pardon me, to basically C, A, G, E, and D chords, because those exact same shapes of octaves are found within that family of chords. So essentially what happens is you can go to any note you want. Let's say if I took an A, you know, I could formulate a pattern, an octave pattern shape based on that CAGED theory, and I could practice my scales there. Could do major, could do minor. I could do arpeggios, you know, I could do pentatonic scales. I could do pretty much anything I want, even chord, you know, types. You know, I could do my major, my minor, triads, sevenths, you know, whatever. And it's basically a system that allows you to gain through both harmony and through single note melody line ideas, access to pretty much how everything lays out on your entire neck. In summary, really what it's going to do is make your entire guitar neck one big friendly place when you're going to be improvising or playing through melodies or reading music. I mean, it's got loads and loads of applications. It's very good. I highly recommend spending quite a bit of time studying that stuff. It's excellent. Let's go to the next question. This one's actually from a guy named Andrew as well. So another Andrew out there. This question is about vibrato technique. He wrote in saying, I've been playing guitar for a while, yet this technique is still hard for me to learn. I've seen different video lessons and I know that's all about wrist movement. The problem I'm having is that I can't control my wrist well enough to get that steady up and down movement as I either do it too fast or too slow. First of all, I want you to go check out a video of mine called Lead Guitar Techniques. I mentioned it in there, but I'm going to tell you some interesting things about vibrato. A lot of people talk technically about it, but there's way more to it than that I think is very important. Number one, I think it's very vital that you go and pick somebody out there. Could be Angus Young, could be B.B. King, Stevie Ray Vaughan, you know, Eric Clapton, whoever it is. But pick somebody and make them your idol of how they do vibrato, and then work very diligently to duplicate how they do their vibrato. That's going to really bump you up to a new level with your vibrato technique. The second thing I want to mention about vibrato, though, point number 2, is that I want you to think of it that there's 2 ways that you can do it. You can do it very fast, like maybe Angus Young or something, or you can do it very slow and very subtle, like Eric Clapton has his approach to it. So there's those 2 different ways of approaching vibrato as well. You can do it very fast, do it very slow. Another tip I'll give you about vibrato, and I don't have the right guitar to demonstrate this, but if you take a guitar that has a whammy bar system, like perhaps a Floyd Rose, and you get going on a really nice vibrato with the whammy bar, work at trying to duplicate that with your finger. So if you get a really nice vibrato going with your bar, then take your finger and try and make an exact duplicate copy. Because what a lot of that is training your ear and your hands to follow suit, you know, go along the same path to generate what you have as the sound in your head. And same thing's basically going into applying that when you pick your favorite artist to duplicate their vibrato. So I bet you'd never heard that on any other videos, but I guarantee you that's going to make a big difference with your vibrato technique. Let's move on next to a question here from Christian. He wrote in saying, I've been playing for 2 years, and one of the things I'm struggling with are the different chords and how to put different types of chords together. Are they supposed to be based on a particular scale? First thing I'd like you to do is check out a video that I have posted on my Creative Guitar Studio YouTube channel. It's called Triad Chord Construction. And what that's going to teach you about is the harmony for a particular key. For instance, if you're in the key of A major, there's the A major scale there. Now every step of that scale, whether you're in triad chord harmony or a seventh chord harmony, can have a particular type of chord built off of the step. For instance, if I were to play the root chord, of course, because it's A major, you'd have an A major chord on that step. But the second step of that scale, the B, can either be a B minor triad or it could be a B minor seventh chord. The third step of C sharp could be a minor triad or a minor seven. The fourth step, D, could be a major seven if you're in seventh chord harmony, or a major triad. I think you're starting to get the picture here. So if you watch that video, what ends up happening is you begin learning how all these chords fit and harmonize to a key. It's extremely valuable information. You'll want to know it for your major keys as well as all your relative minor keys. Later, when you start discovering scales that are more advanced, like maybe harmonic and melodic minor, as well as how all the modes operate and how you can add in extensions and so on and so forth. It just keeps building, and you keep understanding more and more about how chords fit together, and about how they can eventually, you'll realize how they can substitute out for one another. So it's very valuable information. It's extremely important that you study it quite a lot. It's a huge topic, so in the limited time I have here, I can't get too deep into it. But if you watch that video called Triad Chord Construction, you'll get a lot out of it. Let's go to our last question here from Emmanuel. He wrote in saying, my right hand fingers are very tense, especially with techniques like hybrid picking and finger picking. Do you know this particular problem, and do you have any advice for this? Well, what you can do to help with tension is, I usually notice it in people who hardly ever really use a metronome. So you may want to revisit your practice and start going through exercises for technique, and also through scales and arpeggio and pentatonic practice with the metronome on quite a lot. Another thing that you can do, because you want to make this idea of being very relaxed really in your face, you could maybe put a poster up where you practice, something saying stay relaxed, something like that. Also, if you were to research some of the accelerated learning techniques and principles, you'll notice that there's definitely going to be chapters. I have one in my accelerated learning book. There's chapters that are all going to be in all the books on accelerated learning, however, that are based around relaxation and how important relaxation is. One other area which I was exposed to when I went to the Musicians Institute in California is Chinese learning methodologies. There was a lot of information through a program that they had on their speed learning course at G.I.T. that was based on that. And a lot of that is also based upon staying relaxed, relaxation exercises, breathing exercises, visualization exercises to keep you very relaxed when you're going to play. Now, one of the things that happens sometimes when you're playing is when you need that burst of adrenaline for something very technical or for some speed in your playing, and it can even happen a little bit more often when you're playing live, to be able to control that burst of adrenaline is the real trick. And that's probably what's happening with you when you're getting your tension building up. The adrenaline's coming up in your body. Maybe you're doing something more technically challenging for yourself, like perhaps hybrid picking, as you mentioned, and the tension starts setting in. So the way to control that is much more on a psychological level rather than any kind of guitar technique exercise level. I mean, aside from using a metronome and building the speed slowly and developing it that way. Hopefully that helps you. Well, that's about all the time I have for today. Thanks for joining me. Keep sending me your questions. If I don't answer within about a week, send your question again, and who knows, it might even get answered here on the Guitar Blog. So thanks a lot, everyone. Take care, and we'll see you next time. Bye for now.